So realistically, there's probably no better place to start than just going through alphabetically. And as a couple rules here, guys, we are also going to be doing left to right in terms of the ranking. So for example, if I were to think that both apples are S tier, which, spoiler alert, they're not. If I put it like this, it would mean the green apple is a better S tier item than a red apple and vice versa. However, they're not S tier. Let's get them out of there. It's straight garbage. You straight garbage. All right, so alphabetically, we are starting with apricots, and I'm gonna be real here, boys. I feel like apricots are just kind of, they're okay. You know, I've had a few good apricots in my time, and I've had some pretty terrible ones. Now, granted, I live in Canada, so there's maybe some different fruit standards up here, but I'm feeling a strong B for apricots, right? Like they're pretty good. They're pretty citrusy. They're pretty, you know, delicious and juicy, but they're not always fantastic, right? Green apples, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm sorry. Green apple fans, I see you, okay? I understand how much this hurts you. I just need you to understand that I don't care, okay? Your green apples, they're dog shit. They're the worst type of apple by a mile. Red apples or yellow apples any day. I'm not kidding. Green apples are the worst kind of apple, and I will fight you over it if you don't agree with me. Red apples, a little bit better. They're a little bit better. I think I would honestly, I think I might even put them A tier depending on which one. Like, I mean, a Honeycrisp apple is basically a red apple, right? And Honeycrisp apples are amazing. I love them. They're super good. So I'm going to consider a Honeycrisp apple to actually be, it would probably be S tier if it was just Honeycrisp, but unfortunately a lot of the other red apples just, they're not as good, right? So if it was Honeycrisp, A tier. If it's any other type of red apple, you're an A tier. I'm sorry, you're just an A tier. Next up, the first ever S rank avocados. Look, I mean, I guess they're technically a fruit, but that's like kind of saying that cucumbers are technically a fruit, which aren't on here. Avocados are honestly more of a vegetable, but I love avocados. I'll eat them plain. I'll eat them in guacamole. I put them on hamburgers. I put them on sandwiches. I dice them up and mix them in scrambled eggs. I love avocados. They're super good for you. They're super healthy. They're, for some reason, really famous with the cartels. Like, I don't know if you guys knew that, but right now a lot of cartels are switching from dealing drugs to dealing avocados. I'm not a cartel supporter, I promise, but I do know that avocados are absolutely S tier. They're going all the way up there. Next up, bananas. Bananas, boys, I'm going to put them in A tier. And honestly, I think they're a B tier fruit. I really do. But in today's economy, okay, bananas are cheap as dirt. Like, I can buy 2 bananas for like 48 cents at Walmart. Like, bananas are pretty good, but they're insanely good when it comes to value. So they're getting bumped up to an A tier. Are they better than a good red apple though? That's a rough one. I feel like I would still rather have a Honeycrisp apple than a banana. I think I'm gonna leave it where it is. We'll come back to it. Blackberries, you're probably not expecting it. Another S tier fruit. I love blackberries. I literally will just buy clamshells of, if this is a clamshell, I will literally just buy clamshells of blackberries and just eat them like candy. They're so good. You can put them in the freezer and have like a nice frozen treat. You can put them in the fridge. They're nice and cool. You can just eat them whenever you want. Smoothies, mix them into anything. The jam is really good. I can't go wrong. Blackberries are absolutely an S tier fruit. Black currants, I'll be honest with you. I have had black currants before in things. Like, you get black currants in things. I've never heard of anybody just straight eating, like just eating those black currants, but I've had them in like, maybe jam, and I think there's something else I've had them in, but I don't remember them enough to really give it an honest rating. So we're going to chuck them into the never had category, even though I have had them. We're lying, what, 5 minutes into the video? Yeah, we're already lying, but blueberries. It's another S tier. Okay, maybe it's just something to do with the A's and the B's because we've already gotten more S tiers than anything else. Blueberries are absolutely S tier. They're insanely good for you. They're insanely delicious. If you eat too many of them, sometimes pussies get an upset stomach, but that ain't me. Honestly, slight misplace. I'm even going to put them above avocado just because avocados are like $17 a pound, and it might help the cartel a little bit if you buy them. I don't think there's any blueberry cartels though. That doesn't strike me as a real thing. Next up, cantaloupe. Honestly, I think cantaloupe is a pretty solid B tier. I think cantaloupe is pretty good, but then it's good when you get it in like a fruit tray. but it's really not like that great on its own. Plus they're like a giant pain. You got to take the seeds out. You got to like, they're a rock melon, right? Like, I think they're a solid B tier. Would I rather have a cantaloupe than an apricot though? I still think I'd rather eat an apricot than prepare a cantaloupe. I think that's where we're going to go. Next up, super controversial one, coconut. You already know where it's going. Straight in the fucking garbage where it belongs. This is the absolute lowest tier of all the fruits. Coconuts can literally burn. I hate coconuts with every fiber of my being. I hate coconut flavored anything. I hate coconut in anything. I hate the look of them. I hate their stupid testicle looking hairy ass shell. I hate everything to do with coconuts. If you like coconuts, you can feel free to unsubscribe from the channel. You're not welcome here, you disgusting coconut enjoyer. Next up, cherries. Cherries, I think, are going to be a solid B tier. Now there's a plus and a minus. The plus sides to cherries is in the summer on the back deck, eating those cherries, spitting the seeds out, at least until you get a dog and then you can't really spit them out anymore. They're very delicious. The downside to cherries are they're like $48 million a bag. I don't know who is in charge of cherry prices, but you're on crack. Okay, you're on crack cocaine if you think that's okay. $17 a bag for cherries in Canada right now, boys. Absolutely disgusting. Get that. If you fix the price, they're probably a low A tier, but they're so expensive for what you get. And they are good. Don't get me wrong. They are good. They're not that good. Okay, they're not $17 a bag good. Next up, cranberries. Now, cranberries, I'm probably going to throw... I love cranberry juice, but I honestly can't say I've ever just sat and ate cranberries on their own. So I think I feel pretty comfortable throwing it in a low A tier right now. Cause like I said, I love cranberry juice, but I can't imagine like sitting down and eating a bowl of cranberries. Is that something people do? Do people actually eat bags of cranberries? I don't know about that one. That's weird. Next up, dates. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I don't know what's wrong with you if you like dates. Like if you need more fiber in your diet, there's like 15 other fruit that are way better. They look awful. They taste awful. They're stupid. I hate them. They're basically just big raisins, and big raisins are the worst because they're just bigger versions of regular raisins, which I also hate. Spoiler alert. Next up, dragon fruit. I'm sorry, it's a C tier fruit. If you think it's anything other than a C tier fruit, you're absolutely wrong. Maybe even D tier. Dragon fruit flavored stuff is pretty good, right? Like I've had, you know, dragon fruit, vitamin water and that type of stuff, and it's pretty good. But when you eat a dragon fruit, I don't think it tastes anything like dragon fruit flavored stuff. Am I really the only one wrong with this? Like I'll have dragon fruit Gatorade or vitamin water or dragon fruit whatever, and it tastes pretty okay. But then you actually eat a dragon fruit. I mean, it looks cool. It does look cool, but it's not good, man. It's not a good fruit. Like I can't imagine coming home from work and being like, oh, you know what I could go for? A dragon fruit. It's not happening. D tier for right now. Maybe if I get into a better mood, I'll be bumping it up to C tier. Durians. Never had one of these bad boys. I hear a lot about them. I know they're supposed to stink. I think that's like the big thing about them that I know. And they're huge. Are durians and jackfruit the same thing? I don't even know. I know I've never had one though. Although it kind of looks like that thing in Emperor's New Groove, the bug that they like crack open at the diner. That picture kind of looks like that, but figs. Okay, I'm going to put figs in the never had tier. Now, if this was a picture of a fig Newton, straight and literally disgusting. People who like fig Newtons are not human beings. If you meet somebody who says they like fig Newtons, that's a skinwalker.
You're going to die.
Now, I'm going to say though, never had them. I've never actually eaten a fig that wasn't in a fig Newton. And also fun fact about figs, I guess, if you didn't know, figs aren't vegetarian or vegan because apparently wasps climb into them and die. And so there's animal parts in them. It's a rumor I read online, but I don't care enough to fact check it. Next up, gooseberries. Again, I'm going to have to throw gooseberries in the never had. I've had them in a pie. But there's stuff that I've had in pie that I wouldn't say is good on its own. Like I love pumpkin pie. I'm not going to eat a pumpkin, right? So I'm going to throw the gooseberries in the never had. Grapefruit. All right. So grapefruit. This is one I'm going to throw it in never had. Actually, no, I'm going to throw it in D tier, bottom of D tier. And let me tell you why. Grapefruit, first off, isn't that great. It doesn't taste that good. and it's kind of annoying to eat. It's one of those you got to eat it with a spoon kind of fruits. You know how there's like this weird subcategory of fruits where you got to eat them with a spoon or you'll get your hands all nasty? They're in that weird sort of area. However, I can tell you that grapefruits actually interfere with antidepressants, and one of those antidepressants is the one your boy here takes. So I can't eat them whatsoever because I enjoy being happy. So instead, I'm gonna say that grapefruit is a D tier. Maybe if you're not on antidepressants and you enjoy eating weird fruits with spoons, throw them up in C tier if you really want to, but I'm not going to. I feel like red grapes and green grapes have a very specific place, but they're also in a very specific order. They go into A tier if they're seedless. Okay, look, you can call me a bitch, you can call me a pussy, whatever you want. Yeah, I'm 6'2", 270 pounds. I don't like seeds in my grapes, okay? So I'm going to assume these are seedless grapes, and we're going to put them in A tier. And they are specific that red is better than green. Now, if they are seeded grapes, like they have seeds in them, put them in C tier, okay? I don't got time for seeds, okay? I'm not a seed guy. I don't do seeds. If I have to be careful while eating your fruit because there's inedible objects in it, I'm not interested, okay? I mean, I kind of get with cherries, each one you spit it out, but when you get like oranges where some have seeds and some don't, it's not a vibe, okay? So as of right now, doesn't specify, so I'm going to say they're seedless. They're an A tier fruit. They're expensive, but aside from being expensive, they're quick and easy to eat, and when you get a nice crunchy one, ooh, crunchy grapes, baby, that's the play. Now, on to what could possibly be the most controversial take on this entire video. Kiwis. Kiwis are the greatest fruit of all time. Okay? Let me explain to you. Let me preach to you from the Bible of kiwi. Okay? Delicious. Best tasting fruit by a mile. Healthy. One of the healthiest foods. Backed by science. Genuinely a literal superfood, incredibly good for you, and it's fairly cheap for the price. Like I can get 7 kiwis for like $8. Like that's a pretty good deal. Okay. And I'm going to be the one to say it. Okay. I'm going to admit something here, and I feel like I'm going to watch viewers like click off the video for this.
I eat the skin.
Okay. I eat the skin. I just take the kiwi and I hold it by the buttholes and I just eat them. I just eat them with my hands. You guys who come out here and you got your little spoon, and it's another spoon fruit, okay? Kiwi's another spoon fruit where people eat them with spoons. Not the play, okay? Embrace the hairiness, okay? You just wash it a little bit, get all the little loose hairs off of it because they're really not that bad. Hold them by the buttholes, eat it, okay? The skin is way better for you than the rest of the kiwi, and it just tastes the same. It just tastes like a slightly tougher version of the rest of the kiwi, okay? Man up, eat your kiwis like an apple. You won't regret it, okay? I promise you won't regret it. It is the best fruit though. Like, you don't even have to worry about clicking off the rest of the video, okay? I'm even voice cracking. That's how excited I am. I don't even care. You can click off the video now. Kiwis are the S tier. Nothing is going to beat them. Now, lemons. I feel like lemon is a B tier fruit. It's just a lemon, right? Like, I don't think anybody really eats lemon on the side. Like, I know we were talking about, you know, raisins and dates and stuff. Like, sometimes they're better in stuff. Sometimes they're not. They're not ever. Like, don't put raisins in anything. I will fight you. But I feel like lemons, nobody just sits and eats a lemon, right? So I feel like for lemons, it's okay to say how when they're on stuff. I like lemons on fish and chips. I like lemon on the side of a drink sometimes, maybe in a Coca-Cola. Outside of that, you know, B tier. Maybe, you know what? We'll give the green apple some love. We'll even say lemons are a C tier. I can't, however, say the same thing about limes. Limes are an absolute B, okay? People think that lemons and limes are near the same thing. They're not even close. And I just feel the need to put limes higher because I like limeade better than lemonade, and I put limes in my water instead of lemon. Limes are the better version of lemons. People think that a lime is a green lemon. No, a lemon is a yellow lime. That's just how it is. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. Lychee. I'm going to throw you in the never had category. I have had lychee flavored candy, and it is very yummy. Like a lychee hard candy. It's usually green. Very delicious. Never seen a lychee in person in my entire life. I'm going to assume it's pretty good, but I can't be the one to put that out there. Next up, another crazy take. I am a 14-year-old white girl, okay? I love mangoes. I think they're super delicious. They're pretty good for you. The only thing that's keeping them from being higher in the S tier category is they're a little bit of a pain to prepare. I mean, you can learn how to cook them. You can learn how to cut them pretty easily. It's not that hard. You just cut off the sides and then down the thing. It's like a weird almond shaped pit. Outside of that though, they're super delicious. They have a really interesting texture. They go great and everything. Absolute S tier, but the annoyance of having to cut them puts them below blackberries, because you can just have a couple blackberries and just pop them, right? Just pop them in there. Nectarines, absolutely an A tier fruit. Absolutely an A tier fruit. We have great nectarines in Canada. I don't think we grow them here. I don't know anything about farming. I have a fucking anime poster up there. Do I look like I know how to farm? But I know they're delicious. I really enjoy nectarines. I enjoy peaches pretty much just as well. You know what? I'll be the first one to admit it. If you put a nectarine and a peach in front of me, I don't know the difference. Okay. I wouldn't even be able to tell you, probably based on taste, what the difference is. And I think because of that, we're realistically going to have to put peach in front of nectarine. Now, the reason why I'm putting nectarine slightly ahead of peach is because that picture looks a lot better. That peach looks dry and has no contrast. It's a bad picture, and it's making me feel like it's going to be dry and flavorless, and the pit's going to have a lot of little string stuck to it, and I'm not going to like it. So instead, we are putting the nectarines in front of the peaches. Sorry, peachy homies. Nectarines are better. Next up, oranges. I feel like orange is like the top of a B tier fruit, right? Like realistically, I mean, everybody likes oranges, but do you know anybody who loves oranges where like they will just eat oranges forever? Maybe it's like a Canada thing because we don't get, you know, I know oranges are really big in some of the southern states. They grow them and they're like super delicious, but like, I don't know, man. Maybe we just don't get good oranges. I've had a $7 glass of orange juice from a breakfast restaurant near me, and they said they flew it in fresh from Florida that day, and I drank it, and it was the most mid orange juice I've ever had. Like, it was fine, but it was like a glass this big, and it was like $7. And I'm sorry, Florida, your oranges tasted exactly the same to me. Next up, papaya. Never had one on its own, throwing it in the never had tier. We're actually just going to rip through a couple of these. Never had a passion fruit. I feel like that's another Canadian thing. I don't think we get these like super tropical fruits up here all that often. I've never had a pomelo. I've never had a star fruit. I've never had a custard apple. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what a ground cherry is either. We're going to throw that out of there. I don't know what a kumquat is. Mulberry. Sorry, that just the English just kind of came out. Mulberry. I've never actually had a mulberry. I think I may have had it in a pie once. Jackfruit, again, that's one of those giant, that's like the giant big boys, right? It's either the durians or the jackfruits are like massive. Never had either of them. I don't know what a mangosteen is. I don't know what the difference is between a sour cherry and a cherry. Like, I've had cherries that are sour, but does that mean it's a sour cherry? I don't know. I'm just going to assume it's not the same thing, so I'm throwing it down there in the never had. I don't know what the fuck a rambutan is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this is your favorite fruit. I don't know what a rambutan is. Okay, we eat maple syrup and Kraft Dinner with little hot dogs cut up in it. We don't eat like rambutans. I just don't know what it is. Everything else in here though we have had, so we're gonna rank them pretty quick. I feel like pears. Are they better? Would I rather have an orange or a pear? If it's a good orange, I think I would rather have an orange over a pear. I feel like pears are good. There's those gross brown ones though. I don't fuck with the brown pears. I only like the green pears, and they have to be really soft. They might be yellow now that I'm imagining this in my head. I think they may actually be yellow, the ones that I like, but there's no separation here. So we're just gonna say we're keeping pear below orange. Persimmons. Okay, I have a single experience in my life with a persimmon. I saw a persimmon in my local Walmart once, and I had no idea what it was. So I asked everyone around if it was good, and nobody had ever had one. So I bought it. It was like the size of a tangerine. Okay, so like this big. It cost me $1.95 for a single one, and I ate it, and it tasted like fucking water. Absolute letdown. Absolutely disgusting. I was messing with you by putting it in B tier. It's going in D tier, but it's going above dragon fruit and grapefruit because it doesn't try and make me a sad boy. And it at least tastes a little bit more than a dragon fruit, but they're both just overpriced water. Just buy a better fruit. Okay, next up, pineapple. This one sparked such an argument in the Discord that I hang out in because everybody in there is talking about how pineapple is the best fruit ever made. And don't get me wrong, pineapple is very yummy. It goes great in a lot of stuff. However, I think it's top A tier. I can't, in my heart of hearts, in the cockles of my heart, I can't put pineapple in S tier. Can I? Can I put pineapple in S tier? Boys, you know what? Tell you what, just for the homies, the boys in the audience, we'll put it S tier, but bottom of S tier, okay? I think I would still rather have mango over pineapple. I think that makes sense to me. That's where I'm gonna put it. Don't burn me in the comments, okay? But that's what I'm thinking. Plums. I actually really like plums. I think plums are very good. I would rather have a plum than a banana. I think I would rather have it over a red apple. I would. You know what? I'm locking in. Jerry, I'm locking in. Who the fuck's Jerry? Jerry, I'm locking in my answer. I'm putting plums above red apples, okay? I've made the decision. Again, if this said Honeycrisp apple, it would be above plums. I really like plums. I like purple plums. I like yellow plums. I used to get these like little yellow ones that were like kind of sour and just super yummy. I used to eat them by the carton. Drove my mom insane because they were like $7 for like a clamshell of them. And I would just sit there one night just like eat like an absolute metric fuck ton of them. I love them. Plums are really good. Maybe it's a Canadian thing. Maybe we just get better plums than other things, but we're gonna put plum in there. Pomegranates. Okay, so pomegranates are such a weird thing where they're pretty good, but they are such a colossal pain in the ass. I don't think I could rate it any higher than like mid B tier. I think I'd rather have a pear than a pomegranate, but I think I'd rather have a pomegranate over an apricot. I think that's like a good solid, like, I think that's a good spot for it. I think in between apricot and pear, because I'd rather have a pomegranate than an apricot and cantaloupe, but I'd definitely rather have a nice pear than a pomegranate. If I'm just like grabbing it to eat, right? Like pomegranates, if you've ever tried to prepare them, like I know all the secret methods that people have to use them, but I really think it's a good one. I think that's a good spot. I think we're gonna put it in B. Raspberries. I like raspberries. They're not as good as blackberries. I can't in good faith put them above the plums or the red apples. I think I'm gonna put them right between bananas because like, actually no, because bananas have that edge with that like 10 cents a banana, man. It's so hard to beat. I would definitely rather eat raspberries than grapes though. Oh, no, I wouldn't. What? No, there's no way. Oh, I had a first impressions for raspberries and it just like, no. There's no way I'd rather have raspberries than a good nectarine. I'll put it above peach. There we go. That feels good. I like that spot there. Red currant. I'm going to have to put it probably in the I know I said I have had them. I've had currants in stuff before. I've never had them like on their own. I'm sure they're fine. Like I've had red currants in something. I've had black currant. I think I've had it in ice cream once. It's good. It's just like a good, berry fruit, but I haven't had them enough to really rank them. Strawberries. Strawberries are pretty iconic. I think they're very good. Would I put them in S tier though? That is a very, I'm getting a lot in S tier. I feel like it's okay though. I feel like bottom S tier or top A tier. That's a tough one. It's either top of A tier or bottom S tier. Would I rather have strawberries over a plum though? I don't think I would. I think if my mom went to the store and she was like, hey, I bought strawberries and plums, I think I'm going for the plums first, boys. I think plum gang, we're going for the plums first. Tangerines. I like tangerines better than oranges. They have to go above that. I don't think I would eat tangerines over some nice peaches though. There's no shot that if there was like peaches and raspberries on the table and then somebody brought out a bag of tangerines, that I'm going to be ripping these bad boys open first. There's no shot. I would definitely prefer tangerines over oranges though. I find they just taste better. Again, maybe it's a local thing, but we get way better tangerines than oranges here. I would 100% rather have a tangerine. That bad boy is sitting right at the top of B tier. We only got a couple left here. Watermelon. Okay. Watermelon is a pretty damn good fruit. I really like watermelon. It's a rough one. I think I would rather have watermelon than... Would I rather have watermelon over apples and strawberry? I think I do. I think it might be our new top of A tier. I'm just trying to think, like, if somebody approached me with a plum or like a big stick of watermelon, which one I would rather eat. I feel like I'm going watermelon, boys. I feel like watermelons are so good, especially when you're like boiling hot in the summer and somebody's like, oh, I got a slice of watermelon. You're just like, oh, like it's so good. Yeah, I think that's the right spot for it. I think top of A tier is a good spot for watermelon. Honeydew, the only thing I know about honeydew is it 100% has to go above cantaloupe. It's definitely going above cherries. It's going above apricots. It might even be an A tier. I honestly might be throwing it in A tier. I don't think I'd take it over a nice nectarine / peach. Again, they're the same thing. Would I take it over raspberries? That's a toughie. I think I would rather have raspberries. You know what? We're locking in our answer, boys. Asian pears. These are a D tier fruit. I'm sorry. There are like 4 pears in the world, I guess. I don't know. There's a bunch of different pears. I know these ones are the worst by a mile. They taste like regular pears with sand in them. I don't know what it is. They're always grainy. They're always kind of flavorless and crunchy. I don't want a crunchy pear. Do you like a crunchy pear? No, you want to feel like a degenerate, right? Like you're eating the pear and the juice is like running down your face and staining your shirt. There's like seeds fucking falling out everywhere. I don't want a crunchy pear, okay? It's actually going to go above the flavorless, the ones though, okay? It's the worst of the flavored fruit, if that makes sense. I don't like Asian pears. The only thing that's keeping them out of the literally disgusting tier is the fact that they come with that little styrofoam thingy, the little lattice thingy, and you can like play with it. That's fun, I guess. Comes with a toy. So, guava. Okay, so guava I've never had as on its own, but I drink a lot of guava juice, and I don't know how much different it would really be. So if we're going on the taste alone, I'm going to say, whoopsie daisy, that guava is definitely B tier, but like down here in like the lower B tier. I feel like C tier is just for things that aren't flavorless and trying to kill me or disgusting, right? It's just stuff that I don't like. I don't like lemons like on their own. I don't know why I ever would. I feel like maybe just green apples in here. Green apple is the only fruit I can think of that I don't like, that I don't think is disgusting. Like I will eat it. Like if it's the last thing on the table, I'm not going to leave it, right? Like if any of these things are on the table, like a fruit tray, and these are all that's left, I'm not eating. Like I will eat the green apple, but it's my last choice, right? So that's why I think it deserves its own kind of C tier. Blood oranges. I had this one time when I was like 6 years old and I remember it being gross, but I also remember Brussels sprouts being gross, and those are delicious now to me because I'm like 800 years old. So I'm going to say it's probably bottom of B tier. I think no, you know what? I remember it being gross though. I think it was very sour, but it's hard to tell when you're a kid, right? So, yeah, bottom of C tier I think is best. Last but not least, boys, raisins. The worst thing in the world, okay? I hate raisins. I hate raisins so much. I literally get angry when I see them in things. Like when you name something worse, okay? You come home from school. You smell cookies baking in the oven. You open it up and it looks like they got thick chunks of chocolate. Just home-baked mama's chocolate chunk cookies. And you go and you take a bite into it and it's a fucking raisin. Oh, undescribable rage. My day completely ruined. My mood ruined. I would rather have my headphones get caught on a door handle than eat raisins. They are absolutely disgusting. Bottom of the literally disgusting tier. The only thing that's worse than raisins is coconut, and they're both just awful. And dates are just big raisins, but they're not. I haven't had as many dates. I haven't been forcibly subjected to eating as many dates as I have raisins. It's the only reason they get a slightly higher ranking. But raisins, horrible. The worst thing ever. The only thing worse than them is coconuts, but that's only because I don't even consider coconut to be a fruit. A coconut is just a war crime. It's a war crime.